The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the new Into the Night show with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Now, everybody knows for the longest time, I did an hour on Sunday nights and I did an hour on Tuesday nights. Well, Mr. Don and Darren Yazzie decided to go over to Saturday night. So Michelle asked me if I wanted to do a 2-hour show on Sundays. And I said, sure. So tonight, please, after 9 o'clock, I'm going to be on till 10. So tell everybody, share this out. Tell them 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. You need to do that. Okay. So, of course, to keep my numbers up. But no, it's a 2-hour show tonight. And Kurt, good to see you, buddy. Kara, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Don't forget, you two, it's a 2-hour show. But I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing to give you guys 3 hours now of show. Hey Heidi, good to see you. I'm glad you shared the live ad. Oh, great, that's good. Heidi, that's Heidi. Thank you for doing that. Yes, a 2-hour show. But I just want to thank Joe and Michelle for allowing me to give you 3 hours on Sunday night, which is 2 hours, and 1 hour on Thursday. The weather's been really freaking crazy here in Pittsburgh. It really has. Like 2 days ago, it was so damn cold. I'm telling you, it was like in the 30s. Like low 30s, and it was ridiculous. And today, it was almost 70 degrees. Oh my gosh, is Michelle in the house? Oh wow. Hi Michelle, good to see you. Good. I don't know, I'm just happy that I got my 2-hour show. But my first guest for my new show. I am so honored to have both of them on my show tonight. I'm going to do a little reading, okay? I'm going to do a little reading. And this is a little bit, what the one young lady, and I mean, when I specify young lady, I mean a young lady. So, and I know she's hearing this now. She's her and the other beautiful lady are in the green room, and they're eating my crumpets and drinking my tea and coffee. So, when I get there, I'll get them on here. But their podcast is Coven of Curiosities. Okay, they're on YouTube, and they're going to talk a little bit more about it. So I'm like really, really excited. So they talk about a lot of different things. She is a white witch, and their show's about a lot of different things. Unsolved cold case murders, and I definitely know about the other lady's background. But I also have the healing natural plants, little ghost stories, and of course, her Irish heritage with the little people and leprechauns. Mostly just trying to promote the new show. I saw snippets of her show, and I'm telling you what, they're awesome. Hey, Joe Fox, I'm glad you are too. Now remember, Joe, it's a 2-hour show now, buddy. It's not a 1 hour. It's a 2-hour one. She investigated haunted places, or just a mixture of things. You know me, I can talk about anything. That is true. She does talk, and once she starts talking, she don't, be quiet. It's like you have to like sit her down and tie her in her chair, in order to, get a word in there. You know what I mean? But she's going to be at the Red River Gorge Festival in May. So they're going to talk a little bit about that. And Joe Fox says that he's loving that fact, buddy. But I'm just so like really, really interested in hearing their stories. I want to hear about their podcasts. I want to hear about all their paranormal thingies, investigations, whatever they want to do. So without further ado, I would like to give you Cyndi Sapp. Oh, come on, go to the stage, Cyndi. There you are, Cyndi. Good.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
Hello, and Miss Donna Copas. I'm
There's
doing
my
great.
sister.
How are you two?
Hello.
Good.
Good.
Really good.
Doing great. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had a show tonight or this
Yes.
afternoon, did you not? Would you like to talk about your show?
Sure. Well, initially, I'm going to go back to last year. Initially, hello, Heidi. Initially, my show started out as an Audible show. It was bit of a rough start for me. I kind of doubted myself a little bit, but then things turned around for me. I had someone come into my life that I considered, it's Rick. I love it. So had a bit of a rough start when I started out, but I finally just, told myself, I know I can do this. I love talking to people. I love hearing other people's experiences. And I only want to talk about mine too, And so I was Audible first. Then this year I started to think about things and how I wanted my show to go. And I decided to go on YouTube. So I am kind of new on YouTube, but I'm very excited that I made that decision. I do all my own marketing. I do my own videos, everything to get people to come and subscribe and watch. I've had Donna on. I don't know. Goodness, Donna, how many times have you been on?
Oh my gosh. Oh no. A lot. A lot.
Yeah. And I just absolutely adore her so much. And so I asked her to come on as a guest co-host. And then I was like, you want to be a co-host? And then I was like, what about just being a host with me and being a part of my Coven of Curiosities? So I made her officially a host with me to run the show and stuff, and helping her out with her Watchers Maidens. And it's just, I don't know, we just get along. We click really well. I see her as my big sister. And, I'm actually learning a lot from her, and I hope you're learning from me.
I am. Hi, what would I do without you? I am anything to do with
I know what she would be doing. I know what she would be doing right now. Donna would be out there telling the watchers you know, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the Watchers later on tonight. Go ahead, Dawn. I'm sorry. Donna?
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Well, I had the honor of, with Cyndi, we just, like with you, you're just like, we clicked so much in the beginning. I did your show and you've just become my great friend. I'm heading out to the woods. I let you know, and you're always there to send me your extra protection and be there with all my craziness, or I tell you what happened. And it's just, you're my confidant. I just love having you. And Cyndi is the same thing. I send her my crazy songs. I've been doing a lot of this, my Shawnee Legends. I've been turning them into music, and I share those back and forth, and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them. But so I just, it's just been amazing. And then she's like, you want to be my co-host and you want to be my host. And now we've grown, we've got other people, and just all these plans that we're going to do. And it's been pretty amazing. So I'm enjoying myself.
I like the mix y'all got going on with your podcast. Okay. Now, Donna, she's big into the Watchers, and everybody out there, okay, who don't know what a Watcher is, they are the Bigfoot out there. Okay. And but she is a maiden of the Watchers, which means, she kind of like keeps them in line. And Donna can do that too. She can keep them Bigfoot, the Watchers in line, man. All she got to do is look at them, and that's all she wrote, man. Them Watchers be running for the hill. You know what I mean? And when you got Cyndi, that, you did some paranormal investigating.
I do.
And you do, and then you do other things. You are a Wiccan, a witch, however whatever you feel comfortable with, witch or Wiccan, But I think it's a good mixture that you do. Okay.
Yeah, I do study witchcraft.
Sure.
Yeah, I do study witchcraft. I'm not I am a good witch. I don't do the black magic. I'm not into that. I consider myself more of a forest witch. I rather be out in the woods if I could be. But I do have a sister witch. We did start a coven. We do rituals, we do spells, but it's all for protection or good things. We don't do anything evil. I'm not into that. But it's all about your intent. It's about the intent that you have when you're doing your spell or a ritual and what you're manifesting. So, and there's all different types of witches out there. I'm more of the old ways. I prefer the old ways than more the modern ways. But I feel I have respect for all my sister witches that are out there. I don't agree with the black magic or putting harm on anyone. So I don't agree with that. But I do practice.
That is really good. That's really, really good to know. And with you, Donna, okay, being a maiden of the Watchers, is there some type of Wiccan that goes into what you do by being a maiden?
Mine is, we call ours the medicine woman or the seers or the seekers. The protectors of the forest and the animals. There is absolutely ceremonial type. I just in March is the spring, the solar, the equinox, solstice. I'll get it right here in a minute. And on that night, I actually come to the top of. I have a very high mountain top that I go to, and I perform a ceremony for peace and for growth, for the animals, to everybody to be healthy. So that's also where I go. I do different things. Our rebirthing ceremony is for somebody who has, like somewhere in their lifetime, they changed their life around, maybe, for good. And they want to start a whole new beginning. So I go up there and I do that little ceremony, and they walk the path to see what they, if they're accepted. I do, that's a rebirthing, the naming ceremonies. I'm going to show it here. So everything, like with the native, I'm Shawnee. The Watchers Maidens is a spinoff of the Ice Maidens, was a very fierce warrior sect of women that were here. And so when I formed my group, I just kind of took with the Watchers, which the Watchers has always been a very big part of my family and, my Shawnee heritage. The Watchers are our protectors. I call them Watchers because they watch over us. There's a lot of speculation on what Watchers means. My interpretation of Watchers is they watch over me, they protect me, I watch over them, we interact. So I'm.
How do you go by interacting with them?
Well, like I said, I see them, I go out, I gift. When I'm in the forest, because I'm in the woods a lot by myself. I do 10-mile hikes. Sometimes I will just simply spend the night.
Hey, River. Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
So
no, not me, man, not me. You're gonna have to bring all the Watchers. All right, if I go into the woods at night, Donna, that's you know what I mean. I'm from Pittsburgh.
Well, there's other creatures out there, so I have my, I carry my protection, and I'm very good at it because my dad was a hunter and a trapper, and so I grew up, on a farm, and our farm produced everything we needed to, supply our family. Orchards, the berry patches, we raised our animals, or the crops, all that. So I can go into the woods with basically nothing, and if I want to feed myself, I can, because anything that you take that life, then it's to be eaten, and not everything is to be used. If we like with the deer, if we harvest a deer, every bit of that is used. The hide, the bones, the antlers. We still make the knives in the old way, from the deer legs, with the deer leg, right down to when you make the blade, there's a blooder. But
it's interesting. In my animal medicine, I do readings, and I use the animal medicine deck, and that's what I do. The animal medicine cards, and the antelope. Okay, there's an interesting story about the antelope. Okay, so when the natives were on the ground, okay, when they first inhabited, I guess you want to say the states or whatever, right? They had no clothes, they had no food, okay, and the antelope went up to these people and said, "Kill us. You can use our food, our meat, to feed you, and you can use our skin, our hides, to keep you warm." And when you were mentioning about the deer, okay, Dawn, I thought that just like really coexist right there, for what you were saying, and I think that was like really, really cool. And River says hello to everybody. There's my friend Joni. She's popping in now.
Hello.
So yeah, I mean, they all come in. And I called everybody that comes into my chat. They're my guardian angels. Okay, they really are. They're my angels. And because, I could be having a bad week, and I know that when Sunday comes, okay, I'm going to have all my angels in the chat room, and then I feel better. And then I know I'm going to have them again, okay, on Tuesday night. So it kind of like, that double dose of angelic, energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just had to share that with everybody. But I don't know what time. Okay, yes, we are at the bottom of the half hour. So we're going to take a couple-minute break. And that girl, holy shit. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. Hey, that, we love you. Thank you, Kara. I love you all too. Yeah, that girl makes the best coffee, man. The best coffee in the world. She hasn't been in for a while, but I love her to death, man. I love her to death. But everybody, we're going to take a couple-minute break. And don't forget, it's a 2-hour show tonight. So please hang on after 9 o'clock. Not for me. I work. You work. Okay. All right. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay. We'll go here.
Cryptid legends doing what they do, bringing information for me and you. Ron Moorhead and his Sierra Sounds, Daryl Denton, the Tennessee Bigfoot Man, along with Michelle Desrochers, bring adventures across this land. So much information brought to you each week, actively out there looking as the truth they seek.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. It is our Sunday night show, and check this out. It's a 2-hour show tonight, so please go tell your friends and everybody out there that Into the Night on Sunday nights is 2 hours long. Dawn and Darren Yazzie of Don't Whistle at Night, they moved to Saturday night. And you're going to have to tell me about it, Kara. She left the show early last night, and she saw some interesting things. That's great. But I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio 105.3 New Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you Sunday night and Tuesday night show. Tonight, my guest is Cyndi Sapp. Giggles. Okay, we're going to talk about the giggle bit. And my dear friend, Miss Donna Copas of the Watchers of the Woods. And they're going to be, they both host an outstanding podcast, Coven of Curiosities. And I want to get into that a little bit for this half hour here, Cyndi. You just don't do, you do everything. And murder mysteries, stuff like that. Now, for me, you know, I do some I do some research into some of the topics that I do. Now, when it comes to how do you go by picking a topic, or of all the topics how do you go by? Do you just say, okay, we're going to talk about this on Sunday night, or what? How do you do it? How do you, and then what do you do to get the show going for that?
Well, as of right now, I have guests come on, and I bring on guests and we talk about their experiences, or whether it's paranormal or whether it's Bigfoot or some other type of cryptid, and everything. We are planning a murder mystery type scenario show that's in the works. It takes a bit of time to put together because I want to make sure it's done right. But once I'm booked until July. We are booked.
Mm-hmm.
I think we only have 2 openings that have popped open, just because of people feeling ill and not being able to make it or whatever. Just like this last Sunday, or today actually. And that's when I decided to do the collaboration, Coven of Curiosity party, because I've collaborated with other people out there that have YouTube channels. And I have had on my show, before Donna became a host, and everything. But as of right now, we have a lot of guests. And actually, I saw Daryl Denton's advertisement there, and actually, I'm very honored. But we're gonna have him on. Actually, it is in July that we have him on. So
right.
As of right now, that's what we're doing. But at the end of July, I told everyone, I said I would like to start talking about topics, and I like to step outside the box. I don't want to just continue talking about things here in the US. There's so much more out there in this world that we could be talking about, stories that maybe haven't been told in a really long time or told at all. So I'm going to start doing some research and putting some ideas. But I told everybody that I'm collaborating with that if they have any ideas, to please, let's do it. You know, I'm all about being a team and working together. And if you find a really cool, interesting story and it's kind of like, that's interesting, you know, scratching your head, let's talk about it. But that's what I'm about. So that's where we're at right now. So the collaboration is new, but yeah.
That's awesome. Now, Donna, do you participate with your wonderful stories that you share?
Oh yeah. I actually, that's what we just did. We had a wonderful time we all talked about things, and I have different experiences in my life, not just the Watchers. And there was an incident when I was younger that it was like a UFO thing. So I didn't really share that with anybody, and I did that tonight. Of course, I have my ghost stories, and it's just a mixture of everything. I'm actually going to do. My inspiration is to do some filming from the woods, a little bit of going out and send it back to Cyndi, showing some of the experience out there.
Yep.
With Rick and Mandy. They're a young couple that's from here, and I've joined up with them so that I'm not out in the woods by myself as much as possible. And then I have the haunted cabin, which I'm hoping that you come and visit, and I want to take you to see. It's just
like I said, you better have the cavalry there. You better have all them watchers. You know what I mean? Watching the cabin while I'm staying there. You know what I mean?
I'll protect you. I promise. I'll protect you.
All right, good. I feel good. Was it the other day I had you on the show? Was it you that you were out in the woods with a friend and you saw a dogman?
Yes.
That
was.
Did you share that story?
That was a couple years ago, and that's what we were doing. We would hike together. It was me and 2 more other girls. Or they're younger than me, so I'll call them girls. And we did a 6-mile hike way back into the woods. I had a great day, acting a fool and laughing and joking. And when we got back, I actually have a picture of me inside of the big giant tree stump. it was hilarious because when I got back there, we all decided we're going to get inside that tree stump. Well, I have a bad knee. So you know what happens when somebody with a bad knee squats down inside of a tree stump? You get stuck. So we're laughing, falling over on the ground, pulling me out, you know. And then we start back out. It's getting dark, you know. It was still daylight, but it was getting evening time. We had knocks that day. Lots of, we had footprints, you know. We found those. A lot of X's, a lot of markers. And I I was carrying my recorder, and I have vocals from here, which are pretty loud. And I played a couple of those. When we get back there, the trail that takes us out, there's only one trail in and one trail out, but you cannot bypass. You have to go that way. And I look down the trail in front of me, and I see this big black figure at the end of the trail. And first off, I thought it was a big turkey, is what my first thought was. And then I asked the one girl, I was like, she's like, what is that? And of course, we're at a distance, so the closer we get, the bigger it's getting. Now, by that time, the third girl, she's seen it. And I was like, is that a dog? It's like a big dog. Because it was on the ground, like, you know, it's like going back and forth, like it's tracking something. And now I have my little bag, and I carry my friend inside my bag. And because by that time, I'd pulled it around and unzipped it. And I walk with a staff, you know, because I do have a bad knee, so I use that staff. And she's looking around for a stick. She's like, oh, I hope somebody didn't throw a dog out, you know, because we're pretty deep in the woods. And so we just keep going. And then there was a doe jumped off to the right. She jumped up and ran off to the right. And then we got down farther, and there was a tree across the trail. We had to climb over the tree. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, it's bigger and bigger. This thing is bigger and bigger. And I can see the head, and it had like a head, looked like a German Shepherd head. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a massive dog. That is, you know. So I'm really concerned by now. So I flipped the safety, and, you know, I'm getting prepared because I don't know what's going to happen. And we get closer, and then it comes up. You know, it's like it's on the ground, like it's sitting and moving back and forth. And then it came up onto two legs. And I'm going, holy crap. Because
how tall was it? How tall was it, hon?
At least 6 foot. At least 6 foot. You know, it's tall. And it's got the body of a man, and it's got the, you know, it's the hind legs are like curved, like, you know, more like dog legs. It's different. The body comes up like a person's body, and then those front legs are no longer on the ground; they're up. And it went, you know, the deer went to the right. It went to the right to, you know, the way that deer went. And cause, you know, like I said, she had, you know, she has a little stick like this, you know, and it's like, that's what I do. But there's no way. We have to go out through that spot. We have to go through there. Every sound stopped. It was dead silent. There wasn't a bug, you know, spurt and everything. So it's about 50 feet up to the parking lot where my car is, and I have my daughter's new car. And I'm hitting that, you know, it's like a horror movie, you know, when and I'm hitting that button, unlock that door, and it won't work. It would not work. And she's the one girl's like, I gotta pee. I said, I don't care where you pee at. I'm getting in the car. So I'm trying to get new cars. Oh, I hate it because you have to go through all this rigmarole to unlock your door. If that stupid button doesn't work. And I finally get in, and I'm in the car, and then we're in there, and I'm like, what did we just see? What was that? And then the other girl, she's like, did we just see a dog man? You know, that's the only explanation of what it could be in. But in my mind, I'm still trying to rationalize, Was it a dog? Was it like somebody, but it was on it walked on 2 legs. It didn't go back down on 4. It stayed up and it walked. Well, the thing I found interesting in this area, which is not my area, I drove like an hour and a half to get to where this place was. And just about, it was in January of this year, there was a police officer that was coming home through the same area where we were at. I've never met this man. I've never shared my story with, he don't know me. He's seen the exact same thing, same area, but it was at a guardrail beside the road. And this is a police officer coming home who is like, totally bewildered. But honestly, I mean, he saw the exact same thing that we saw. So, and it's in the same area. So
Interesting. We have a couple comments. We have a couple comments for you. Okay, for Cyndi or you, Donna. My friend Sherry, she had a group come in meditation and told me a bunch of stuff. They said they were the Watchers. Now, the Watchers, I don't know if they were talking about, Sherry, I don't know if they were talking about they watched everybody. The Watchers that Donna does, they're Bigfoots. So
yeah.
That's the different thing. And Lillian Brecken, all right, that's she's like married to my adopted son. Okay, so she says, I've got a couple that freaked her out, and I'm not super into the paranormal stuff, but it definitely made me realize there's things out there. And we got some new comments. Oh, okay. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. But I don't know. Your stories are interesting. And I have learned that I don't judge anybody in their stories or what they see out there, especially out in the woods, or not so much out in the woods, but even in the city. Okay, in the city, and I love that. You told that story the last time you were on, Donna, and it hit me hard because I never really. I mean, I accept that there's a dog man, but I was still on the fence about it.
Me too.
And yeah, I was a little bit on the fence, and I'm like, a dog man. And then before I met you, I kept thinking, did the government do something in order to make this thing? That was my next question. I don't know, but when you told me that story, and you are so legit, you are so real, okay? There's no doubt of what you say, you know what I mean, would tell me anything different. You know what I mean?
I question all my life, the Watchers. That's one thing. I've seen them. I had never seen any, and I thought it because, I know the story of how the dogman was supposed to be created by, this would have been early 1800s. About how they, came about or whatever. But I thought, in my mind, maybe they were talking about like the dog soldiers, the natives, the braves, the dog soldiers, they teeter themselves down. They fight. The only way they can release themselves once they go into battle is they either win or they die. So in my mind, when they talked about dogmen, all my life as a child and growing up, that's what I thought about. I never thought that there was a physical creature. And to that day, I still, I question myself even after seeing it. What was it? What was it? But over the last year, because I'm not sure what's going on, we've got migrations, we've got different things happening. It seems like there's more of these creatures are being seen. And of course, I know, we've got all the logging, the woods are coming down, things is happening. all kind of, the bears coming out, the bobcats. I got bobcats coming into my barn, so they're close to my house. But I questioned that myself. I thought, there's no such thing as the dog man. This is something, I thought, well, the medicine man, because they use the herbs, the plants, they can cook up a concoction that will make you fight fiercer because you go, poo-poo. It's kind of like what they fed the Vietnam soldiers. You know how they would do them. I mean, I've worked with the soldiers that are now elderly, and they would say, they would come through, pull out their lip, drop a pill in, and they didn't go to sleep for 3 days. They fought. That's how they did that. So the medicine men, they have that ability. My grandmother she used the herbs, and honestly, she taught me about different things. There's some roots that I can dig, I can grind up into a powder, and I can walk by and go, and you see all kind of psychedelic things. I don't do that.
I can imagine. But go ahead. We have a couple comments in the section in the chat. William Brecken says a rule we have in the mountain is she lives in East Tennessee. Okay, she's in the mountain, man. She's one of them mountain ladies,
Me too. Yeah.
But she's a beautiful person. She married a good man, so she's all right in my book. So I look at it. And my friend Kurt says, he says, I always thought that at first as well a government project due to, I think it was Stalin that ordered those scientists to try to combine monkeys and humans as a super soldier, I believe. Cyndi, Donna, did you hear anything like that?
Well, basically, my stories come from early 1800s. So that would be before. And that was the way my story was told to me was, the Watchers were here. We had shaman, our medicine men. Some turned evil, and because our Watchers are connected to us, it's like we're part of each other, which made their Watchers become evil, and they're doing bad things, is the way I say it. So the good shaman, they got together to fight. No human man can feed a Watcher. It's not, I'm sorry, it's just not possible. They're too big. They have all this other stuff. So they did this ceremony, is the way it was told to me, to drive the bad ones into the caves and trap them so that they can never enter back into this realm again. But they could not do it without the help. They created the dog men to help them battle them, is the way I was told. And like I said, and even hearing these stories, because I've heard them all life, I still question that. I thought, well, this probably, they probably used the Braves. Until I seen that, I did question. I have no answer what they really are, or that's the story that I was told how they were created. There's a whole ceremonial thing which involves a panther, the wolves. I wrote part of that story. I'll share it with you. I don't share it to really anybody.
Thank you, Lillian.
It's kind of a sacred type thing, but
interesting.
I don't know the answers. I don't have that ability to know that answers, but
and that's okay.
I know what I saw. That's all that matters.
Yeah. I trust you. So, and now, Cyndi, you do paranormal investigating, right? Would you care to share a couple stories on some of your investigations, or do you have a good ghost story that you would like to share with us?
Well, my first paranormal experience was when I was 8 years old. I saw my grandfather, and ever since then, throughout my life, I would have spirits come, and I felt at the time, because I wasn't quite understanding what I was experiencing, they would come and give me messages. And then I would finally figure out what they were trying to explain. So then I would tell the people that needed to have that message. As a, it wasn't so much scary. It was more kind of weird. I have two sons. They're grown now, but this is when they were little. I lived in a house in Linwood, Washington, and we eventually found out that because we kept hearing noises and strange things, and the doors would open, and we couldn't explain it. No windows would be open, and the door would, open for some odd reason. But we found out that part of the house was used as to take care of a couple of elderly people. And unfortunately, there was a house fire in this house, and kind of explained some of the noises that we were hearing and the senses and the feelings that I was experiencing. At that time, I didn't really understand why I was feeling certain things. I do now. But my youngest son, he was 4 at the time. I'm in the living room. He was supposed to be he fell asleep in my bed, and he woke up just screaming bloody murder. I've never heard my child scream like that before in terror. And I jump off the couch and I go running in there because that's my child. Of course, I'm going to run in there. But he's pointing at a mirror that I had in the bedroom, and he says, "Woman with no face, woman with no face." And he won't stop. And he's just literally freaking out. And I grab him and I'm holding him and I'm telling him, it's okay, mommy's here. Well, that mirror ended up coming with me to a townhome that I moved into. And it was upstairs by my bedroom door. And one night I am sleeping. My bedroom had double doors that you can go into. And I always, sleep on my sides. Well, one night I'm literally on my side and I'm looking out the door. But you know how when someone gets on the bed and your blankets kind of get pushed down on you when they're crawling in? Yeah. So I'm laying there. I lived alone. No one lived with me. And I'm laying there and, because I had to get up early for work. And I literally felt someone crawling over me from one side of the bed to the other. And it woke me up. And I'm like laying there going, what the heck is going on? So I reached my arm out of the covers and I reached behind me because my back was to the other side of the room and nothing was there. And I was like, what the heck was that? But it pushed me down pretty, it pushed the comforter that I had on me down pretty far. So needless to say, that was kind of interesting. But I would always see a shadow figure standing over by my closet and the sliding glass door that I had because I had a patio off my bedroom. But it didn't scare me. I felt more like he would watch. It was a tall, dark figure, definitely, but he would just stand there. And I just kind of ignored it and just was like, okay, he's not here to harm me. I didn't feel any negative presence. So I just thought maybe he was attached to that mirror and it came with me. So I'm not sure, but
very possible on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But here lately, I've been working on my abilities and I've been going out in paranormal investigating locations here in California where I'm at. And I'll kind of tell one that just happened recently. We went to Cobb Estate, which these are all located in Pasadena, California. So it's about a 2-hour drive for us. We went to Cobb Estate, we went to the Devil's Gate, and we went to the Suicide Bridge. Well, basically, they call that the Royal Triangle. So when we went to the Devil's Gate, I already felt something negative. And I told Marcus, my fiance, I said, I don't want to get out. I don't want to get out of the truck. This isn't good. So needless to say, I went ahead, got out of the truck because he's like, you need to work on your, don't let the fear beat you. You're working on your abilities. Let's just go. So I went ahead and went. Never been there before. Didn't know anything about the history. And went to the bridge because it's an actual bridge. And I eventually figured out or, was told what the place was for, why they call it Devil's Gate. So anyway, I'm on the bridge and my friend Nick's like, hey, Sydney, come on this side of the bridge. What are you feeling? What are you picking up? So I connect, I open myself up, I allow the spirits to use my energy, and visions were coming through, and I could see a ritual going on. Men were dressed in capes with hoods, and they were getting ready to basically do a satanic ritual on a woman. She was on a platform, and they were getting ready to put harm on her. She was freaking out and screaming and, whatever. And I started getting upset. I started crying. And again, I know nothing about this place. I know nothing about the history whatsoever, because I don't want to know the history, because I want to see if I'm picking up something is going to match the history. So, and then my friend Nick's like, go on this side of the bridge and tell us what you are picking up. So I go on the other side, I look down, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. And I'm going to take, not say bad words, but I said something else. And I was like, that's where it happens, right down there. That's what I saw in what I was seeing, what was coming through.
Wow.
And sure enough, he's like, well, do you want to know the history now? I said, okay, sure. I said, I already kind of have a feeling, but you can go. And he says, yeah, they hold satanic rituals here. And it has to do with the Scientology group, and which we all know about. And part of it has to do with that. There's across the way, you can see this like lab area, but something to do with the Scientology, that lab and that location where they hold rituals. And I could actually see a woman being, as an offering.
Unalived? Being unalived?
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy, that's because I'm a seer myself, and I know for a fact when I see a person who I know is going to die, you could see it. Okay. But you can't say nothing. You just cannot say nothing.
I was very careful when I was even out there. I was bawling.
Right.
I was bawling because I knew what was happening, and I just,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it is 9:02, ladies. You know what that means. It's time for another 2-minute break. Okay.
Right.
So when we come back, right, remember, tell everybody it's a 2-hour show tonight. Okay. So 2 hours. But when we come back, Donna was telling me something before the show started about the leprechauns. And I would like to hear that story. You know what I mean? You okay with that, Donna?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So we go have a cigarette, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do, and we'll see you back in a couple minutes. Hey, Sherry says, yay. You can ask anybody in the chat. And even Donna could verify it too. When my shows were just an hour long, they went by so fast. They really did. They did. They really, really did. I'm happy as a jaybird now. Okay, so see y'all in 2 minutes.
All right.
All right, who can we play tonight? We'll play this one.
Welcome to the Light Gate, where reality bends and the unseen awakens. Preston Dennett, joined by Dolly Saffron, guiding you beyond the veil and into the infinite unknown. Every week, we unlock high strangeness, extraterrestrial contact, hidden realms, psychic awakenings, the afterlife, and secrets they don't want you to know. Step through the gate, and if you feel the calling, subscribe to the channel and share it with those ready to awaken.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 2-hour show. The 2-hour show now on Sunday nights from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. I'm so excited about it. So please go out, share it with your friends. Don't have to run away. I see a couple. Thank you, Heidi. Kurt, you like your Lucky Charms, and of course, Heidi said magically delicious. Oh yes, it's a cereal, of course. But how do you know? I don't know. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 nights a week, Sunday and Tuesday nights. My wonderful guest tonight on this 2-hour show. Now from now on to our show. Yes, put them in stars, UPRN. I got Cyndi Giggles Sapp. And I also got my dear, dear, dear friend, Donna Copas. And before we went into the break, Donna told me some interesting, before the show even started, that she has a leprechaun story to tell us. So we're all wanting, everybody that watches my show, we love leprechauns. We love leprechauns. So why don't you tell us your story, Donna?
Okay. Well, I've been working in a new area, the Irishman's grave. It's the gentleman that had been tending it. He passed away a few years ago, and I just recently found out about it. So me and my 2 cousins took over the job of tending his grave. There's a great story that goes with it. My one cousin, her name is Rosie, and where she lived at the old farm. It's a very old farmstead, and she lived there. And there was still 2 of the old, early 1800 cabins were still there. Of course, she put her home in there, but there was a warlock that lived there, and his name was Pickle Sours. I don't know what his real
Pickle Sours. And who's this dude again? What was his name?
Pickle Sours, not sour pickles. Pickle Sours. Oh. And evidently, he was very well known. He would do like fry an egg in his hat. He would do all kinds of tricks and mischievous type stuff. I don't think he was a black warlock. He did different things. But he had a leprechaun. He had a leprechaun that lived there with him on the farm. And so like I said, my cousin lived there, and my her sisters were both my cousins. He would visit. He was very a trickster, and he liked to play pranks, leprechaun style things, like they do. And so Judy said she was sleeping on the couch, and she looks over, which the house sits up high, and she's like, I see this figure. He's standing there looking at me. And she's like, she gets scared. She's like, so I closed my eyes, and it's like, I opened, he's still there, and he's looking at me. And she said, I realized it's a leprechaun. It's a leprechaun. So she's like, the third time I open my eyes, and I'm going to look at him. It's like he's standing there looking down into the floor. Like, and she's like, so I closed my eyes again because she's like, he scared me. But he didn't do anything to scare me. She's like, he wasn't, didn't do anything bad. So this goes on. He he would visit whoever is sleeping in that part of the house. He would visit, always to the same spot. And he's looking down in. Like, he's trying to tell them something. Look here. So the main house, her house burnt, while her husband passed away, and she had moved, but the 2 old cabins are still there, which he still visits. Pickle Sours, but
That's
he's
a name.
attached.
I can't get over that name. I'm sorry.
So evidently what he was trying to show them that nobody listened to in all this time, what he was trying to show them was a catch of old coins that was under the house.
A what?
So he
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
of old coins, like old gold coins.
Old coins. Okay, okay.
There was a catch of old coins there. But the thing about the Irishman's grave, there's a well where this grave is at. And evidently he had fallen down in that well, the Irishman did. And he spent like 3 days before anybody ever found him. It like froze his feet. They had to take some of his toes off or whatever. But it was the leprechaun that finally led the people to the well to find him. So I love that area. It's beautiful. It's also a very, very active watcher site. It's high up on top of a mountain where the grave is. There's still some of the old cabin that still stands there by where the well. So, but I sent a picture to Cyndi. Actually, I was going on video, driving up. It's a dirt road. You drive up the side, and I stopped. I wouldn't get very good service. And then I got a voice. There's a voice on. There was 2 different voices on my recording, and the one didn't make any sense, but the other one was like it's either Celtic or old. It's almost like Old Shawnee that says they're coming. And then it's a face, I took a picture, and it's like a ghost face, but it looks like a little girl. It looks like a young girl. Because all the other pictures are normal. It's like the wood line and all that. And then I have this ghostly face. So it's, I find it fascinating. But Pickle Sours, when they're telling me this story, I was like, he did all this mischievous stuff. And he still visits and does it to the people that still live there. There's like, these things will happen. It's nothing bad, just like a trickster coming in and tricky things. So
interesting. Well, to keep you guys, thank you for sharing that. But okay, just, here's what's going on tonight. Yes, and I'll say it until you get tired of me saying it. When you say, Sean, shut up, we know about the 2-hour show. You know what? Sorry, you're going to continue hearing it because we need to get this out of here. But I am hey, Rick, good to see you, buddy. So right now, the show into the night, I have Donna Copas, the Watcher of the Woods, and host Cyndi Sapp Giggles, aka the Giggles. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty cool. So they have a podcast called Coven of Curiosities, and they were most gracious to come on my show tonight, and I truly appreciate it. So to you, Miss Cyndi, whenever you say that you bring guests on, and say like we're talking a murder mystery or there's an unsolved murder that you got like to discuss, okay, do you try to put your empathic work into it, your gift that you have to figure something out?
Yeah, so on Coven of Curiosities, I have not done a true crime yet, not yet. So that's coming. I have another show. I'm on multiple shows. My other show that I started is called The Haunted and Hunted Case Files. I do that with my very good friend Joy. And we actually we find true crime stories things that actually really did happen. And when I'm doing that, I don't tap in to the story that we're talking about. There's times I need to cut it off sometimes because it gets to be too much especially when I'm feeling things and sensing things. So when I'm doing that, I just talk. I mean, it, breaks my heart to hear anybody, perishing, but, needless to say, I don't tap in to that when I'm not.
Okay.
Now, if I'm at a location and I'm paranormal investigating, and then, you know, there's certain areas, obviously the Suicide Bridge as an example, that's it. There's the history right there. It's the name of the bridge, right? So
Mhm.
obviously, you know, things have happened there that are horrible. So
Right.
that I pick up, that I definitely felt. It was very overwhelming, and I couldn't stay long. It was too much for me. So
Mhm.
we didn't get to investigate too long there because I became very, like I said, very overwhelming. So
Well, here in Pennsylvania, we have a battle was fought here in the Civil War called Gettysburg. Okay.
yeah,
And there is a bridge that we have here up there. It's called, they have two. It's called Sachs Covered Bridge,
okay,
where after the war, after the battle was fought there, the Confederates took the route over this bridge. Okay. And
okay,
they hung deserters on that bridge. And, but the other one I want to talk about, you mentioned the Suicide Bridge. There's a bridge up the road from Sachs, and it's called the Eisenhower Bridge. Okay, no one really knows about it. It's a little small bridge, but up there in Gettysburg, they call it the Suicide Bridge. And I've investigated it many, many, many times. Yes, it got a creepy feeling, and I have seen some really creepy crap up there.
yeah,
Things that I just could not come to grips of what people, oh, Sean, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, hell. And I got to go home and go to bed. You know what I mean? It's just like, but it doesn't make me run away. When I see something that's interesting or something that's unreal, I follow it. I go right up to it. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah,
and when I say that out of pure humility. I do not say that because I'm a man and I'm a big bad, paranormal investigator. No, it's just I'm intrigued on the situations.
right.
Rick, I don't know if you can read that, Donna. Rick
Yeah.
says Donna has seen things that will make your skin crawl. She's tough at nails. Let me tell you something, Rick. She's my bodyguard, dude. She is my bodyguard. Whenever I go in the woods, man, she's my bodyguard. Her and all the watchers. Yes, they're going to watch me. Donna, whenever you were in the woods, right, and you were, keeping an eye on the watchers, have you ever met face to face with the watcher? And everybody, before we continue, the watchers are Bigfoot in the Shawnee language. Not language, I'm sorry, whatever, Shawnee, what,
Shawnee.
tribe,
When that's
whatever you want.
Shawnee.
Yeah. Have you ever had the opportunity to meet one pretty, like, not face to face, but maybe 20, 30 feet away from each other?
Yeah, it's not like I go up and shake their hand or anything. I've been within 30 feet of them. Yes, I have. And the other night, the incident that happened the other night, because we do have the migration coming in, my old ones are here. I've never had any violence from them. They've never tried to harm me. But for some reason, we've got new ones that's coming in, and they're different. They don't even look like mine. They look different even, and they're mean. This was violent, and I'd went out. It was like 1:30 in the morning, which is normal for me. I live, it was warm and a nice warm breeze. I couldn't sleep. I don't sleep a lot, so I decided I would drive. It's back in the woods and it's a dirt road. And I was just going to drive there and I will take a gift or whatever. I make apple cakes, which I've told you about that before. But
Yeah.
this night I just grabbed some.
And you were
apples
supposed to send me some, but you never did.
I don't have your
How dare
address. You
you?
didn't give me your address. You got to give
I
me your
gave
address
you.
and I will mail you one.
All right. I will. Okay. I will send you my address, and I better see an apple cake like
You
yesterday,
will.
not
I
in
promise.
2 days, 3 days.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
however long it takes to get it to you. But I went there. There's a rock wall there. You can pull over the side of it, which I did, and I just got out of my car and I went over to the wall and I put my stuff down, and I heard some like growls and screams. But in my head, before I hear, because they communicate with me telepathically. I know what they're thinking. They know what I'm thinking. And I heard a voice saying, watch out, watch out, watch out. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And then this huge, he's young. He's this huge dark figure steps out within feet of me. I mean, he's coming straight at me. And he was not intent on doing, he wasn't being friendly. He meant to do me harm. And which I froze. My thing was with that was, you don't challenge, go submissive or whatever. But literally, and I've been taught to control my fear. That was a big lesson. I froze. I couldn't move. It's coming at me. And then from out, because my old ones are there. The caves are there where they're giving birth, and the mothers are there. So the old ones are usually the sentries. It's up top. It took two of the old ones, and to take him down to the ground. I was attacked, and which they're big too, but they are old. I mean, they're white. Their hair is white now. And I could get back to my car, which I did, but then I have to go down about maybe 4 or 5 miles over a cliff on a dirt road. There's no houses. There's nothing there but woods. And as I left my car run, that night for some reason. I hadn't shut it off. Thank God I hadn't. I looked in the mirror, and as I looked in the mirror, my taillights reflected. Sorry. I see my very old one. He was my dad's. And I seen him go down. And all I wanted to do, I was like, what am I going to do? I certainly can't fight it. And there's nothing I can do but just get the heck out. And I don't know if he came back up. He went down, and he's old. I can't feel him because I feel him in my, I can feel him. I can't feel him. So in my heart, I think he's dead. I think it probably killed him. And I feel so guilty. My heart's broke. I feel so guilty. I'm like, did I escalate it by going there? They're already in this battle. And, he protected me. He came out and he protected me. They both did. I wouldn't be here, honestly. That's as close.
My condolences, Donna. My condolences.
It's I'm gonna go back and check on him, but I'm trying to let it calm down.
Will you keep me updated on that, or keep us updated on that? I'd appreciate it.
I will.
Okay.
I just
the
next night. I think the reason I think that he is gone, because my dad passed away. I took care of my dad, and I was with my dad. He died in my arms. His last breath was, and but when he died, I look out. He was at the hospital. There's a big buck here, about 14-point buck came, and I looked down out of the window, and it came to the pond, and it came down, and it looked up, and it shook its head because they were working on him, and I was like, no, let him go. He's gone. But the next day in my driveway was a 14-point buck deer head, the skull, and the antlers, which no hunter will leave that behind. They'll take it for a trophy if they took it. But it wasn't cut off. It had been, like ripped off. It still smelled of death. It was fresh. So I think that was my...
Hey, Kevin.
I think that...
Good to see you.
But then I seen a man kept walking back and forth. It was a ghost, a spirit, or whatever. And I think that was their way of saying, I think he's gone. And I still just.
He'll be now. My friend Kurt, Donna says, "That's so sad. Thank you for sharing that. I hope the best news, but I don't think you can put full blame on yourself. But I understand why you do because you were there. She's sorry to hear." Thank you for saying that, Kurt. Thank you for all
I
the
appreciate
sympathy wishes for everybody. That's why I love. That's why I love my group. My people that come and follow me. It's because they have hearts of gold, and they are so truly blessed. I mean, I am so grateful for them, and I couldn't ask for my guardian angels, every one of them in there, and they have the utmost respect for everybody, except for flat earthers. Flat earthers got to go, man. That's it. They're done. You know what I mean? Flat earthers have to go. And I'm telling you, I better get some of that apple butter cake, whatever you got down there, dear, or else I'm going to be kicking your butt. I'll come down to Ohio. I will go to Ohio and kick your butt. I'll bring.
Okay.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what, Donna. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take you into a city. How's that? I'll put you in a city.
No. You come and visit, and I'll bake you a cake. You just come and visit, and I'll bake you a cake. I promise. I will bake you a cake and send it to you. I promise.
Okay, you better promise. Kurt says, Sean, we'll be holding you to the apple pie. Yeah, no, apple cake, man. Yeah,
apple cake. It's my grandmother's recipe.
Okay, and if it's Shawnee recipe, then couldn't ask for anything more. Okay, we can go a little bit. We got one more break to do, but Cyndi, I keep looking at Giggles. I don't want to call you Giggles, but I keep want to say Giggles, but that's not your name. Your name is Cyndi. So Cyndi, could you share the name of the group that you do the paranormal investigating? Do you do houses? Do you do businesses? Do you do like go to places that are supposed to be haunted?
Yeah, so we don't. So it's Federal Paranormal Investigators. Both my fiance and I founded it together. He came up with the name. He handles all the equipment and all that, and I use my abilities, and I use my dowsing rods, and I do what I need to do to tap in. And then, but we work together very well. We don't do homes and everything. If somebody does have something going on in their home and they would like assistance, it's something we can look into. It's not anything that I would just jump right into because of safety reasons. But we go to definitely locations. We've been to the Queen Mary. We've been to the Biltmore Hotel, which is very well known because of Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia. I'm sure you guys have heard that story. We've been there. That's a very, 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 very hot spot, like super paranormal. It was insane, the stuff that we were getting there. And we've gone to Back Bay. We've gone to many locations. We have a lot more. We're actually going to a military base on April 3rd. So that we've got to kind of sneak in. You don't just go into it. So we got to go under.
Now see, I've been doing the investigations for over 30 years now. And that's like my number one cardinal rule. Okay. Always get permission to go someplace.
It's abandoned. It's not even active anymore. So, but we're going with some people that are giving us access. So
okay, that's all that matters, because I've been, even though we're like here in Pittsburgh or in Pittsburgh where I live, if there's no gate on that cemetery, you can go in anytime you want.
Yeah.
But even when we do go to open gated cemeteries, right? I always called the police to tell them that we're going to be in there that night from this time to that time. And they were really cool about it, but that's like my number one cardinal rule. Now you were saying something about the dowsing rods. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is me, and this is only me. But and I'm not saying you do, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about dowsing rods, how I
Okay.
feel about the thingy.
The pendulum.
Yeah, you can easily manipulate those things.
No, no, you cannot.
You
No.
sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I use my dowsing rods all the time, and there's no way that I can manipulate them. That my hands are
I'm
too
not
low.
saying that. I didn't say you. I didn't say you, did I?
Yeah,
No, I
there's
said
no way.
I've seen. I've done it. I've
Yeah,
manipulated them. Yes, I have.
no, I don't do it.
And then I didn't say you though. I didn't. I'm not putting you on the spot here. I mean, if you know what you're doing with that
Right.
item, not so much. Not so much. I just lost track of mine. I don't want you to get mad at me. I don't like
No,
it
no, no, no.
when women get mad at me. I don't like that because
Well,
and
I mean, it'd be
especially
no different than a Ouija board, right? You've got your pendulum or
um,
your pendulette, and your hands are on there. Anybody can manipulate that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There's
that's
somebody
true.
that
And I
could be
don't.
the controller, and it's just a
I
matter of how legitimate somebody wants to be. I
right,
don't play around
exactly. I
with
agree.
the paranormal. Is not something you play around with, in my
No, but there's a
opinion,
lot of
at
people that
all.
do.
Oh, yeah, same. And I don't find it's not funny. I don't find it
Mm-mm.
a joke at all. And some people find it funny. And to me,
Yep.
I don't want to associate with people that find it funny to fake or try to bring bad things. We've got enough things roaming around and
Exactly.
coming through portals.
Yeah.
I
So,
totally,
we're
I
coming through
totally
mirrors.
agree. Wow,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of respect for the spirits. I consider them as actually still technically, they were once human, just like us. They had skin, they had everything. Just because they're a spirit doesn't mean that they're not actually, in my opinion, this is me, that they're not actually alive. I see them as alive. I have haunted dolls.
No, I'm right there with you.
They're vessels.
Of
What's
course
that?
they are, because for me, when I say this is
Yep.
we're a shell. This is a shell.
Yes. Yeah.
And when we
Yeah.
die, hey Squatch Man, and when we die, our shell dies and our
Yes.
spirits move on. Yes, so I
Mhm.
totally understand. You were getting a little defensive there on me, and I didn't
Yeah, because
really mean it.
I'm not that kind of a person. I find the
I was,
paranormal is very
but I
sincere to
wasn't.
me.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking
Oh,
about
just
people
saying in
who,
general. Okay.
in general, no,
Yeah.
no, that in general, not about you.
Yeah, I
No,
got you.
I would never do that. Okay, Heidi says, um, this vessel often, and we are vessels. And I
Yeah.
like the ghosties. I really do. I love them, and I've been
Yeah. Same.
on a lot of investigations. And I don't know. I think I'm going to get back into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I formed the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society back in 2006.
Okay.
And in the year 2022, I kind of like retired from ghost hunting because it was just getting too much. I
Yep.
mean, the reason being because I was in my 60s and I'm still working. I mean, 20 years ago, I had no problem staying out till 3 in the morning, going home, and then get 2 hours of sleep and then going to work the next,
Yeah.
that morning. But I just can't do it no more. I just can't.
Yeah.
But I like to help people. I like to help other
Same.
groups that are there. Oh yeah, I'm coming, Sherry. I'm coming to Newfoundland, and I better see some moose. You better have the mooses out there. Oh, me and her have. She knows the deal. She knows. I've been
That's
messing.
funny.
Newfoundland sounds great. That's what I want to talk to you about, Sherry. There's a show that we watch. Me and my mom. We watch. It's called Matt. I forget. It's about a German Shepherd and they're from German Shepherd and a cop, and they're in Newfoundland. So that's kind. But you know what? We're going to do a break, and when we come back, all right, we're going to get into the last half hour, and And then I'm going to, what I do, I don't know if Donna told you, but I usually pull a card, an animal card, at the end of my show. And Hudson and Rex, yes, Sherry, that's the name of it.
Yep.
Do it when you retire. And I'm going to pull one. I'm going to pull a card tonight, and I do that, and everyone likes it. I like doing it, you know. Then my buddy Joe Fox, if he's still in the room, he'll look it up, okay, and it's pretty interesting. I just want you to know that what we do at the end of the show.
Okay.
So we're going to go do a couple-minute break here, and then come back, and then we'll finish up the show. Okay. All right, where are we at? Here we go. All right, who did I not play? This one.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly, along with very, very dear friends that I met tonight. Well, I know them, Donna, close to all my life, almost, it feels like it. But I met my friend Cyndi, and they have a podcast called Coven of Curiosities. And would you like to share, like, when do you guys host, or when does your show come on? Stuff
Sure.
like that.
Yeah, so we are on Sunday night or Sundays at 2:00 Pacific Standard Time, 5:00 Eastern. I just recently, I need to give a shout out because I told.
Go right ahead. Do
It's
it.
very important to me to make sure that I mentioned the rest of Coven of Curiosities, the co-hosts. So I've got my fiance, Marcus. He's part of the FPI. So I have my federal paranormal team as well as collaborating with. I have Rick and Mandy from Southern Ohio Bigfoot. They're also co-hosts. I have Chadwick Gels from Chestnut Ridge Paranormal. And then we also have Rachel Jones from, I helped her with her logo and her YouTube channel. So it's Haynes Hexes and Hollers is her channel. So please go subscribe to them, you guys. They're amazing. They've got amazing evidence on their YouTube channel. Well, Rachel just started hers, but she'll be posting some great stuff that she got, that she's captured on her own property and her parents' property. So, but I wanted to make sure I gave them a shout out, because they are part of the show too. So,
Yep.
That was really nice of you doing that. Donna, how about you? Do you have a shout out you want to ask? Say anybody? You want to tell them watchers out there that, hey, I'm on Into the Night with your buddy Sean Kelly? Do you want to tell them? Would you have any shout outs?
Yeah, well, our team, our amazing, wonderful team, Rick and Mandy, they tromped through the woods with me. And Chad, oh my gosh, he has some amazing things. Cyndi, I love Cyndi because without her, we could do nothing. I'm telling you, she's the genius of getting everything together. And Rachel is an amazing young lady. It's just started. I also I co-host with Monsters Unleashed on Saturday night with and Trisha Collins. They're at the LBL, Land Between the Lakes. I visited down there last month, and that place is very scary. Even for me, it's very scary. We were in 2 feet of snow out in the woods on the lake, and that place has that's more government, and I'll tell you about it. That place is scary, and it's
where's
government.
This place at, Donna? What's the name of the place?
It's the Land Between the Lakes. It's over in Kentucky. It's up closer to Tennessee, right? And where's that?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes into between them both.
It was one of those where it was all farm ground, and the government came in, kicked everybody off their farm, flooded the area, turned it into a lake.
Yes.
Now they are bringing in loads of wild hog that they turn loose, but they do not allow any hunting. No human hunting. When we were there, we found all kind of footprints, handprints. There's a house which I found amazing. Trish had taken, we walked down to it. You have to walk. And the old houses, it's kind of like Helltown. It reminds me of like Helltown in New Boston, where they did the same thing. And I won't say the name, but the W is supposed to live there. I don't say that name. But this house, I'm looking at it, there's a camera, and it's pointed up towards the chimney of the house. The house is maintained, and there is probably a 25-foot tree limb that is smoothed out, standing against that. And I'm thinking, why do you have that? So, me being me. So I was like, do you ever look in the window? She's like, no, I never do look in the window. I go over, and that, you can look straight in. There's nothing on the windows. It's clean inside. The floors are clean. At first I seen it was like the chimney area, and I thought, what are they doing? Why is that made like that? I thought, well, maybe they're putting coal down there. They used it for to feed the fire or a wood stove or something. And I was like, nope, it's too clean. There's no coal ash. There's no wood chips, nothing. I go around the other way, and I look, and I'm like, I lived on a farm, so I'm like, it's a feeder. It's a feeder set up in there. For some reason, I don't know if you ever saw it or not. There was a study on chimps and monkeys and stuff. They would put honey inside of a piece of tree stump or something to see how they would get it out. Now they would take sticks and push them down in there and pull it out and eat it. I don't know if you ever saw that. And then I'm looking at that big long branch up there, and I'm like, are they putting the feed there? The same concept kind of went through my head. Are they, and they push that and the feed comes down and they can get it. And they're filming it, they've got the cameras on it, watching, but all around that house, there was 18, 20-inch footprints. There's the big handprints, like where they're, you know, and this is in snow. This is snow and ice. So when you're walking down through there, this ice was so I couldn't break through it. Trish actually, she had the walking sticks, and she's like, "Here, take this," because she was doing better than me. And I couldn't, you know. So that's how, you know, it was very thick.
Well,
so that place is. They have seen. Oh my God, the things that they've captured there. It's very
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
so.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that, Donna. Hey, Lisa Kirk, good to see you. Thank you for popping in tonight. Now, ladies, we got about 11 minutes left, okay? So I'll start off with you, Cyndi. Is there anything that you would like to talk about or get off your chest about the paranormal field, or something that you just, you know, this is your turn. This is your time if you want to vent about how the paranormal groups are going by doing things. Here's your time.
I just wish that there would be more paranormal groups out there that are supportive of each other instead of causing drama and problems out there. It's also in the cryptid world as well. You know, it's now that I'm getting more into the cryptid side of things as well. I've been noticing it. People are calling each other names, putting each other down, talking foul, and I just don't find that very professional. My Coven of Curiosities is actually an LLC. I did turn it into a business. So it's important to me to keep a professional outlook on things and make sure that we all show our support with others. And we're all like that. And that's why I wanted these wonderful people on, you know, part of my show. But it just makes me sad how some people fake paranormal events or paranormal experiences, and I don't agree with that. Thanks, Heidi. Exactly. It would be nice if everybody can just get along and show each other respect. It's very important to me when I go to locations or when I am on a paranormal investigation to show respect to the spirits. I'm not there to harm them. I'm not there to do anything. I'm not the type that's going to antagonize, or what is that word I'm thinking of? Getting them worked up or anything like that. If they don't want to talk,
challenge.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. If they don't want to talk or don't want to be seen, they won't do it. They won't talk. They won't be seen. You know what I mean? And some are very active. Some are very, very intelligent. Some are residual. Some are not so nice, you know? So I feel it's very important. Like I said, they may not have the shell, but to me, in my opinion, they are alive, in my opinion. That's just how I think. But yeah, I wish the fake stuff would stop. Same with the cryptid world. It really disgusts me to hear how people with podcasts speaking so foul about another podcast team or group. It's so unprofessional. That's how you want to carry yourself. I don't want to associate or have anything to do with that at all. Right. I'm not okay.
God bless you, girl. God bless you. Yes, I bow. I am not worthy. Oh,
and then a quick story about giggles. Okay.
Yeah, please tell me about giggles.
Okay. I used to be on a show called Channel 12, and it was the North Carolina Investigates. And it's a bunch of guys, and they have a podcast. It's actually a very good show. I enjoy it. But I got the nickname from them. They gave me the giggles because I'm very animated. I come from a theater background, and I giggle a lot. I like to have fun on my show. I like to have fun when I'm on other people's shows, and sometimes I get to be a little too much. So sometimes I try not to giggle so much. But yes, I got the nickname because I like to giggle.
That's cool as hell. I like that. Thank you for sharing the giggles. Okay, Donna, you got about 5 minutes left, 6 minutes before we pull the cards. Is there anything you want to get off your chest that you
Yes.
want to?
I'm now in Strange Knox magazines. Gwendolyn Purcell. I do an article for her. She's a wonderful lady, very talented. This is the magazine. This is my magazine. It's very well put together. Has great stories, a lot of good things, and so I like. First off, I like being in her magazine, but I would like to everybody, you need to prescribe to this. This is a really neat thing. And I've met so many really wonderful people. And again, like Cyndi, I just wish everybody could get along. I've been taught, and I can do it. My mom taught me that this is one thing about my mom. She said, you can hate somebody and you can walk side by side with them and you can be civil,
Just like
Now,
Heidi
if they
said,
push you, and they make, if they attack you, wipe them out.
there you go.
Be civil.
That's that backwoods thinking there. Yes, like I said, she's my bodyguard, man. You know what I mean? But if she's bad, Cyndi, I'm going to take her into Columbus, Ohio, and drop her off right in the middle.
Hey, now.
I really appreciated you two for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I really
thank you for setting this up, Donna.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Sean. He's my buddy. He is always, like I said, I can tell him I let him know. I'm heading out to the woods, and I will be kind of a little concerned about a group or something that I'm going with, and he sends his protection there with me. I really appreciate it. I do.
Can you feel? Can you feel Lakota, Donna?
I can.
You can. Lakota's my spirit animal. That's my guy.
I know.
That's my animal guy.
I feel that.
He's big, bad, and he kicks ass, doesn't he, Donna? Yes, he does. He does. He's good. But so real quick, everybody can find. How can people find you, Giggles, and Donna?
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, you ready for this?
That's cool, Heidi. That's cool.
Okay. So obviously Coven of Curiosity pod on YouTube. On Instagram, you can find me. And I own all the underscores. So if you want an underscore, you got to buy one from me and I'll give it to you. But it's Coven of underscore of Curiosities underscore podcast. I am also on Facebook, which is just Coven of Curiosity pod. And you can also find me actually on Facebook under Cyndi Sapp. That page, I've got more followers than I do on my Coven. Somehow, I don't know why, but it's happened. Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. Yay. But I'm also on the Haunted and Hunted Case Files with Joy. She's a very good friend of mine. That one is my ultimate true crime show that we do. And then you can also find me on Monsters Unleashed. And I might be starting another podcast. It's kind of at the beginning stages. We're figuring things out. So
awesome. God bless.
I'm very busy. Oh, and I do have a clothing line. I have Coven of Curiosity Couture Curiosity Couture by Cyndi, excuse me. Cool. So yeah, I started that LLC to protect, and then obviously federal paranormal investigators too.
Wow, God bless. We're gonna have to write a book on all that stuff, man.
I know, right?
Donna, how can people get a hold of you, hon?
Well, with the Coven of Curiosities with Cyndi, Facebook. She set me up on TikTok. She's working all of that magic for me because I am totally illiterate when it comes to anything to do with electronics.
YouTube.
I set you up on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, YouTube. And then, like I said, Strange Knox. My articles are in here. Gwendolyn Purcell. I've got numerous podcasts out there. I think I'm up to around 50 of different ones. So
Damn.
I got another. Yep, I got another one coming up next week. So I'm just a little bit of everywhere, and
Awesome. Well, if you need anything about Donna, just don't forget, everybody. You have to contact the Watchers. Okay, contact the Watchers, and
yeah,
they
those
will
are my
read.
big brothers. Yeah, they're my big brothers and my
They're your big
uncles
Thank
and
you,
my
Kara.
mom. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's that time to pull a card.
Okay.
Here's a card. Okay, so we're going to pull the card, and why I pull the card, and I don't know why I forgot his name. He's a very dear friend of mine, but I'm going to pull a card. It's an animal medicine card that I pull on Sunday nights, and when I pull the one card, okay, hopefully he will get the spiritual meaning behind the card. I really, really wish I don't know. I'm just drawing a blank on his name. He's going to get mad at me, and I'm sorry. But so I'm going to pull the card, and the card I pull right now, and this is for everybody. It's not always for everybody, but it could possibly be for everybody. So, Joe Fox, thank you, Heidi. Oh man, Kevin pulled the butterfly for me. Thank you very much, Kevin. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Kevin. But I mean, this is the highlight of my show, pulling the card. And every now and then I'll do a reading. Hi, Janet Ramsey.
Oh, it's a tarot card.
Yes.
Is that what you pull? Oh,
no,
okay.
It's not tarot. Animal medicine.
Oh, animal medicine. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the card I'm picking, you're going to like this one, guys, especially you, Donna, the coyote.
Oh boy, that is kind of significant, isn't it, Cyndi? That is significant.
Yes.
She just had a coyote visit her last night.
Really?
Yeah, we were us ladies were chit-chatting after the show, and I opened up my office window and I look out, and there comes it was a pretty good sized coyote. And I know they don't get very big, but this guy was pretty big, and I'm like, holy crud. I'm like, there's just a coyote running across the parking lot.
That's crazy.
I'm like, wow. And you pull a coyote card.
Yes, think that. So there's a mystical reason behind. See, to me, the coyote's the trickster, and and do whatever he needs to do to get whatever he wants. And
that's what I said last night. That's what.
All right, Joe got the meaning behind it. The coyote as a spirit animal symbolizes adaptability, playfulness, and the importance of not taking life too seriously. It encourages you to embrace change, find joy in the present, and learn from your experiences, often through humor and self-reflection. Joe Fox, thank you. Thank you very much. That was a deep card, but I like the coyote. They're a pain in the asses. I'm going to do this story before I close up. One time, there's a place up here in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. It's called Blue Mist Road, and that's where all the paranormal groups go. Okay, and one night, I shit y'all not. All right, it was a full moon. Okay, it was a full moon, and we just started the path, and we heard 3 coyotes yelping in the back on the full moon. Oh my gosh, it was like most coolest thing that I ever heard in my life. It was the coolest. But ladies, thank you again for being on the show tonight. So children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, have a good night And I will see you Tuesday night. And please, 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 please protect the children. Good night.